Omar, I was in a village called in Ketepa in the Impriso constituency. It was a bit difficult to reach, very remote.
In
And so it was
Ketepari.
not easy. In Ketepa,
In Ketepa. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a very difficult and remote part of the Impriso constituency.
In
It overlooks the Farm River,
okay. Okay. But
just next
Afram
to our plains.
Mpriso is not your place in the eastern region. How is it looking for you?
Omar, I can assure you that these elections, there are no strongholds. Almost all strongholds are going to be broken because Ghanaians are going to look at bread and butter issues that directly affect their livelihood and make a decision. Ghanaians have gone past the era of where people ascribe to political parties because they belong to certain tribes. Bigotry is not going to win in 2024. Ghanaians have come this far, and Ghanaians have become very more discerning than they used to be previously. And so I can assure you that there will be many surprises in those elections. We've toured this country extensively. I am in my 16th region as I speak to you, and we cover every constituency. I can tell you this election is going to be a landslide one for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Interesting. So the conversation was actually supposed to be focused on the youth. Let's talk about the youth agenda of the NDC. What is your youth agenda?
Omar, the NDC launched what we call the Youth Manifesto. It's a novelty, the first of its kind in the history of this country. And almost all our policies are youth-centered. Our flagship program, the 24-hour economy, is what is going to be the game changer for young people in this country. We intend to create jobs. One of the many problems that confront every young Ghanaian today is the issue of jobs. And under the 24-hour economy policy that we have, we intend to change the phase of the Ghanaian economy by creating more sustainable jobs for young people. We're also looking at our educational programs, making free SHS free in its name and concept, and also improving upon free SHS and bringing on board private schools that have remained dormant because this government refused to include them in free SHS. We're also talking about the no-fee stress policy, where first-year students at all tertiary levels government is going to support and pay for their academic user fees. We're also looking at supporting continuing students with a loan that we term the Student Loan Trust Fund Plus, where continuing students who have difficulties, who have challenges in paying their fees, will be given a loan by government under the Student Loan Trust Fund, and then when they finish school, government will now deduct it from their salaries at no interest. We're also looking at supporting all students that are disabled at the tertiary level, where government will support their education at the tertiary level, all disabled students. We're also looking at the National Apprenticeship Program, where young people who want to learn trade, who want to learn vocations, are going to be supported by the NDC administration by paying their apprentice fee that is usually an albatross for most families and parents. And not just that, when they finish under the Let's Debt program that we did when we were in government, we intend to use that same policy and program to set them up. We also intend to retool all masters who are already in their various vocations, where we are going to give them equipment. We do an assessment of their shops and then give them all the needed support that they require so that they can also impart knowledge to the apprentices that will be given to them. There are many masters that are master craftsmen that have no certification. We intend to use NVTI and CVET to certify all these masters through the prior knowledge certification program that we intend to bring on board. So we have many other policies for young people. We are looking at training over 1 million coders so that they can take up various roles in various ICT fields, being it cybersecurity and what have you. And so we have many things that we've lined up for young people. But you see, in all this, the young people of Ghana are going to look out for a government they can trust, not one who lies to them through their teeth and then turn around and pretend he doesn't know what is happening in his government. Bawumia calls himself digitalization. Meanwhile, he's not even laid one fiber optic cable. The man who laid all this fiber optic cable does not even refer to himself as a man of digitalization. We all know that John played in the fiber optic cables that today drives our ICT world, that drives the ICT industry. And so we intend to improve upon ICT. We intend to improve upon skills development for young people. We intend to improve upon education. And most importantly, we intend to create jobs for every Ghanaian, irrespective of which party, which tribe, which religion you belong to. The NDC is going to create opportunities for every young Ghanaian. And that is all we intend to do.
The free senior high school has affected almost every home in this country. And it's a big campaign message, and it is a big game changer over the past few decades is perhaps one of the biggest policy interventions of the country. That is what you are coming up against. How are you going to convince people that despite the free SHS that has been given to the youth of Ghana, you still deserve to be given the seat back at the presidency?
Omaro, two things. If you recall, during the campaign of 2008, that was when President Kufuor then introduced the district health insurance scheme. One of the many lies the MPP told around that time was that if you vote for the NDC, we were going to cancel national health insurance. At that time, it was a district health insurance scheme. It was not even national. President Mills and President Mahama, then candidate Mahama and candidate Mills, promised the good people of Ghana that we're going to change it from it being district and make it national. It is the same promise we are making to the good people of Ghana. When a child goes to school for 3 weeks and comes to stay home for 3 months, that is not the kind of education we want to give our children. I can assure everybody that the NDC is going to improve upon free SHS. We are going to complete all the abandoned secondary structures, all the structures in the various secondary schools that have not been completed. And we assure them that we are going to improve upon free SHS. Under the 1990 Constitution, no government can cancel free SHS. When we were in government, I was an MC then. In 2015-2016 academic year, President Mahama started progressively free senior high school for day students. And then the Kufuor came to extend it to cover boarding students. So the NDC is not against free SHS. We can never be against free SHS. Our approach to free education was different from their approach. But now that they've started and included boarding schools, we are going to improve upon it. We are going to even bring on board private schools that were not initially included. And that's what we are saying. The NDC is all committed to making sure that free SHS finds its rightful place. We don't intend to just give education. We intend to improve upon the quality of it. And so I want to assure everybody listening to the NDC that we are not against free education. And we are not even leaving it at free education at a secondary level. We are looking at improving basic education as well, because that is the basic foundation that the child needs before he even gets to secondary school. And so today we know the challenges that confront basic education. 5 years after changing the curriculum, no textbooks have been provided. We intend to improve upon it. We intend to improve upon teacher absenteeism. We intend to support through the capitation grant that has been missing for a very long time. There's many other things that what we intend to do. And most importantly, we are coming on board with the no fee stress at the tertiary level. And so let Ghanaians believe in us. Ghanaians should give us the benefit of the doubt. When President Kufuor even introduced secondary education to 4 years, they left no infrastructure behind. In 1 year, President Mills and President Mahama introduced an accelerated educational program in our secondary schools. And so nobody even felt the pinch that secondary education had been moved from 4 years. We had a double intake in 2009-2010 academic year. But because President Mahama and President Mills were focused, they made sure we developed and built enough infrastructure to cover all the additional students that were coming in. The NDC has a track record in providing quality education. During our time, we eradicated schools under trees at the basic level. We ended the shift system. We have a track record in education, and we assure the good people of this country that we know the essence of education. We will not rush in introducing policies that we cannot implement. We will do things right. We will fix free SHS. As we stand today, free SHS is a mess. When you supply school children with expired food, some of the food items that have been given to our children, even Omaro, forgive me, but you not even serve it to your dog sometimes. And these are the things and these are the challenges we are talking about. We will improve upon it. We will make it better, like we did with the national health insurance, moving it from a district health insurance into a national health insurance.
Pablo,
we are going to create a dedicated source of funding directly for free SHS, like we did with Get Fund. You can credit the NDC with Get Fund. We would do something better for free education at the secondary level.
The MPP has an advert on free SHS it is sponsoring, in which advert there's the voice of the former president saying, in not so many words, that free SHS was not possible at the time the MPP intended to implement it. It's almost like those words have come back to bite you. We are going to play voices. There are 1,001 Baumia voices that we can play about failed promises that they've not been able to achieve. When President Mahama said it was not possible at that time, what President Mahama meant, and it was in plain terms, was that the manner in which they intended to implement it was not possible and feasible. That is why we have the many challenges that faces it. Today, university vice chancellors are telling us that the standards of education are falling so low that they intend to go back to their entrance examinations. Because of, if you take a child to school for 3 weeks and ask him to come and stay home for 3 months, that is not quality education. They are looking at quantity. They are looking at quantity, not quality. We are emphasizing on quality. And when President Mahama was talking at that time, he was referring to the infrastructural deficits that we had.
Because we're ending the shift system in our basic schools. Nobody expected shift system at the secondary schools. And that was what President Mama was talking about. That is why we started our audacious program of building 200 E-blocks. We started by putting out almost 171. At the time we were leaving, almost 71 were nearing completion. This government promised 300. How many have they been able to build? These and many other things are what we are talking about, Omaro. And I can assure the young people of this country that if you are looking for a government that will truly say, yeah, will not lie to you and steal your money like these guys have done, it is the NDC. The NDC represents the average Ghanaian. Right. The NDC stands for the average Ghanaian. The NDC believes in the Ghanaian. It is the NDC that will develop Ghana and create sustainable jobs for young people and improve upon their lives as Ghanaians.
Another thing,
look at the standard of living for the ordinary Ghanaian. Today, Kinky is selling at 10 Ghana cedis. How many young people can buy a bowl of Kinky today and eat? If you don't have 20 cedis a day today, the statistical service is telling us that the average balanced diet meal that a Ghanaian must cough up to be able to afford is 6 Ghana cedis per meal. How many of us earn that much? And how many of us can afford an average balanced diet?
Okay. Another thing, Pablo, that may affect you this election, and we are wrapping up now, is you cancelling the nurses and teacher trainee allowances. That thing was a big deal at the time. And this government is going to use that against you.
Omaro,
how guaranteed are you that you're going to get the votes of the nurses and
let me correct an impression. An impression that has been out there for long, which is not accurate. We did cancel teacher training allowances, that I admit. But we did not cancel nursing training allowances. There was a mistake by the Controller and Accountant General when the communique went and asked that teacher training allowances, because they had moved from being teacher training institutions to tertiary institutions. And so their law had been changed. But that law did not affect the nursing training schools. And so when we realized that a mistake had occurred, quickly government went back and started paying allowances for nurses. So every single allowance that we owed when we were in government for nurses was paid. It is never true. And I challenge anyone to
no
come
problem.
and
tell me that granted, the one for teachers. The one for teachers.
For teachers, because the law at that time had changed. They had moved from being teacher training schools to colleges of education. And once the law changed, they qualified to be put on the student loan trust fund. But when the argument started and we realized that it didn't sit well with them, we rescinded the decision and went back. And so in 2016, we paid teachers their allowances. And so it is not true. It is not true. And yes, policies are introduced. We know in this country when the Kufuor introduced taxes on some things, and then when Ghanaians complain, they have to pull them out. It has happened. But when it is not popular with the people, you withdraw, and that is what President Mahama did. When we realized that the introduction or the allowances to teachers, we did not policy document, and I challenge anyone.
Okay, Pablo, I'm losing you again. I'm sure you're still moving around. But we have to.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear. But we need to end it in 30 seconds. Speak to Ghana's youth as to why they should choose you.
If you're a young person who believes in Ghana, NDC is the vote for John Mahama. You are going to vote for yourself because the destiny of our country is at stake. Our country is at the crossroads. This government has failed us. They have stolen from us. They have stolen your future. They have even stolen from pensioners. So how much more you young people? It is time to vote for change. It is time to restore confidence in the ordinary Ghanaian. It is time to rebuild our country. It is time to vote for a government that will give you and build for you the Ghana you and I want. I believe in John Mahama, and I believe that he's going to lead Ghana out of the mess we find ourselves in. In crisis, you need a wartime leader. Okay. President Mahama has proven to the good people of this country that he's a wartime leader. When we faced economic crisis in 2013, 2014, when we faced electricity crisis, he fixed it, he took us out and returned Ghana back onto the path of prosperity. Okay. He's the best leader for the job. We don't need a driver's seat who is inexperienced and have stolen from us and have lied to the good people of this country.
Thank you.
We need a leader who is honest and trustworthy. And that leader is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you so much. George Opare, Addo, National Youth Organizer, NDC. He's also known as Pablo.